All right, it's time to take a look at the German response to the Russians' turn. So we're still round one. The Japanese have gone. The Soviet Union is gone. Now it's the German turn. Now we are playing by the tournament rules, so we will continue to focus on victory cities. So we have Leningrad, Moscow, Stalingrad, all on the Russian front. Of course, there's London to think of. There's no victory cities in Africa, no victory cities here in the Middle East. Next one is Calcutta. That's a pretty far reach for the Germans and their Italian allies. So the action's really going to be Eastern Front and London. And to be honest, in a time-limited game, the whole African theater is really a sideshow. So we're going to push pretty hard. Play a very aggressive Germany. Here's a couple openers that are high risk, high reward. We'll send a German U-boat here against the destroyer and two transports. This sets the Americans back considerably. If that works. Only one sub can reach it. I'm also going to send one sub here against the cruiser-destroyer combination. So another high risk, high reward. Now, I believe that one of the great German strategies is to control the seas. And that German control of the seas will ensure that neither America nor the UK can invade mainland Europe. So I'm a big proponent of the German Navy. I have to say, I think that's also a pretty difficult strategy to pull off. But you can see here in my buy, I am buying some naval assets because I do plan on having a credible German Navy. So I'm going to hit that. We also have a small UK fleet down here, which can be attacked by some aerial units. And I think I will attempt to another high risk play. So he's going to be flying 1, 2. He will be flying 1, 2, 3. Landing in Morocco. And then I'll send my bomber 1, 2, 3 also against this. So I'm going to do an aerial attack against these naval assets here. And then I will move my units against Russia. So the reason that I'd like to send this destroyer, but the truth of it is a undefended German transport. That's a movement of 1, 2. On undefended German transport in the Mediterranean is going to get sunk every time by this UK fighter. So I'm going to try to give it some kind of credible defense. So what we see there is actually an amphibious attack against the Ukraine. So infantry tank coming off that. We're going to roll across the border from Bulgaria, Romania into Ukraine, which has 3 units. We're going to shift an artillery, 2 infantry, a fighter, which also goes 1 in against the 2 tanks in Ukraine. So we are counterattacking Ukraine, eastern Ukraine, and we will also roll into Belarus, which has 3 infantry and a tank. Looking at that, does not look like a particularly successful attack. I do have another asset here, so we have an infantry and a tank that are coming off of this transport along with a cruiser support shot. So we're going to move in with 3 infantry, a tank, cruiser support shot. Remember that one has any aircraft artillery available to it. And could take a swipe at Belarus. 3 infantry and a tank. I don't think I probably will choose not to do that. I do have 1 aerial asset up here that is not being utilized. I always like to look, make sure I'm using all my assets. I do have a blitzable tank as well here in Warsaw that I could send. Okay, so we'll just maybe do even more aggressive. We'll send 3 infantry there. We'll blitz the tank. We'll fly this 1 into the sea zone, 2 into Kazakhstan, 3 into Belarus, and it will probably land in eastern Poland. So here you go, super aggressive attacks, and let's see how it turns out. Germans like to gamble, so I'm going to start with the American naval combat. So just need to roll a 2 with that German sub. And the American destroyer. So I get the hit, sink the destroyer. There's now 2 undefended transports. Smashing German victory. Let's see how it goes up here. This is a much tougher fight. Submarine versus cruiser now. However, do remember I do get the surprise shot because there is no destroyer. So I'm going straight for the cruiser. The cruiser won't fire back if I hit it, and I will not get the hit. Cruiser returns fire, does not get the hit. We go to round 2 with the sub. Once again misses. Cruiser in defense. Also misses. Okay, so let's go with the sub. Nothing there. And the cruiser will finally get the hit. So 1 out of 2. I will lose this U-boat on the UK Navy holds off of Canada. Now I'm going to go aerial attack here. I have 2 fighters and 1 bomber. So 2 fighters plus the bomber. That's 3 hits. So I have a destroyer in defense on a 2 and a cruiser in defense on a 3. Oh, look at that. Going 2 for 2. So that is a marginal victory. That's a 20 IPC German loss versus basically a 20 IPC UK loss. So that's unfortunate, but that's how the dice go. Do clear the seas. Do clear the sea zone though, which is important. And then we'll shift over here to our Kazakhstan invasion, which I see as 3 infantry, a tank, and a support shot. So 3 infantry. Whoa! I'll have to go find that one. So I have 3 infantry. Well, I will get a hit. Both the infantry. I have a tank and a cruiser in support. So I'll get 1 hit. I'm gonna need 2. And the Russians will take 1 German with them. And the Russians move into Karelia, 2 infantry and a tank. Which brings us to the Belarus fight. Lot tighter odds there on the Belarus fight. We've got 3 infantry, a tank, and a fighter. So against 3 infantry, a tank, marginal. Might be a retreat here. Let's check. 3 infantry. No, it's 1 hit. Tank and fighter. That would be 2 hits. The Russians have 3 infantry and defense. They will get to no hits, plus their tank. Oh, so Germans kill 2 infantry unanswered. We'll keep pushing the attack. 3 German infantry. Nothing there. Tank fighter. 1 hit. 1 Russian infantry. 1 Russian tank. Ooh, man. No, that's how the dice go. 3 German infantry. Plus the tank and the fighter. There's the last hit. Russians finally take 1. And Germans are into Belarus, 2 infantry and a tank. Land fighters at the end. Okay, we're coming in next to Eastern Ukraine. I've got 1 infantry on a 1. I have an infantry and artillery on a 2. And I have a plane coming in on a 3. Oh, no good. And we have 2 Russian tanks. So they will take 1 German infantry. We will go 1 more round. See if we can turn the tide here. Infantry and artillery from the Germans, plus the fighter. 1 hit. The Russians will get 1 hit. So 1 tank, 1 infantry. Let's go. I probably won't take the territory, but I will attempt to destroy the Russian tank. Artillery, and the plane. There's the hit, and there's the response. So, destroy the 2 tanks in Ukraine. Do not take the territory. And that leaves the big showdown in Ukraine. So I have 3 infantry, 2 tanks, and a fighter. So let's see how we do here. 3 infantry, 2 tanks, and a fighter. 3 infantry, and then 2 tanks and a fighter. Oh, gotta like that. Defending in Ukraine is a infantry and an artillery, plus a tank. Oh, ouch. We land my planes. He's gonna land in eastern Poland, so behind the front lines. He was here. He's attacking here. I think we'll set up our air base in. Of course, on the other hand, I need some fighters for my new carrier, so he was 1 into here. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he was 1 into here. 2, 3, 4. So those 2 fighters are actually going to land on my carrier. And he will land back in Germany. He has 3. There, wings left. Then we have some non-combat moves. So let's see what we have for non-combat. The 2 troops in Poland are going to be moving up to eastern Poland. The 2 troops in Bulgaria, or Czechoslovakia, Hungary, will move to Bulgaria. The 3 troops in Germany and the tank, I think, will move to Paris. Do have to hold Paris. I will lead the infantry in Norway. And I will deploy my new carrier, which has 2 fighters on it now. An additional submarine. And then I will drop 4 infantry and a tank into Berlin. The Russians take 2 territories, the Germans take back 2 territories. which I will mark here. They have taken Ukraine. And they have taken Belarus. Not that different from where they started the game. Unfortunately, they could not take Eastern Poland, which remains in the hands of the Russians. But we do gain a victory city. So we are now one victory city up. But most importantly, you can see here, we started to develop this shield around Leningrad so that the Russians will find it very hard, if not impossible, to retake Leningrad. So Karelia is fairly secure. Here you can see we are already starting to push on the Caucasus. Hopefully I'll be able to keep this transport. I've got 2 more infantry there. So you can see I can use this transport to bridge units from Bulgaria, Romania directly to the Caucasus. Otherwise, it would take them 2 rounds to get there. Alternatively, I could go 1 here, pick up this infantry and tank, and 2 here and hit them with an infantry and tank. Because as I was saying, North Africa is not particularly valuable in a timed game that is on the victory cities. I do see, however, that the UK is going to have 2 transports available, battleship, cruiser, destroyer. So they have failed to seriously wound the UK Navy. They will probably look at getting some revenge on me next turn. But that's where we are. So we will prepare for the UK turn next.